everyone, this video is going to be slightly special because this covers one of our most favorite people in the world. I'm talking about Shah Rukh Khan. Yes, Shah Rukh Khan. Everybody's, all of ours heartbeat. We love that guy, don't we? The way he speaks, the way he's respectful, the way he's the king of Bollywood. Ultimate actor and amazing human being. You must be aware he delivered a TED talk which was widely discussed all over the world. So many people talked about it. It is one of the best pieces available on TED's channel. So I decided to cover 20 stunningly beautiful words used by Shah Rukh Khan in his TED talk, but I've been careful in picking only the words that you can use in your regular day-to-day language. And of course, I'm not just going to be talking about the meanings, I'm also going to explain the usage of the words. I'm going to make sure that you learn the word and you start using it from today, day one. Pretty simple, straightforward, so what's the wait? Let's get into it. First one on the list is embellished. Now this is how Shah Rukh Khan used it. In the urban rush for a new, more embellished survival, things started to look a little different. Meaning of the word is to make something more beautiful by adding something to it. So when you try and make something prettier, the word embellished here suggests that he has moved to Mumbai looking for a more lavish form of survival, due to which his life began to change. So it's obvious when you move towards building your career or you want bigger things and some lavish things in your life begins to look a little different. So this is what he's talking about. Now here are two example sentences for the word embellish. The storyteller liked to embellish his tales, adding dragons and fairies to captivate his audience. She embellished the plain dress with sequins and lace, transforming it into a stunning outfit for the party. Next word, sprawling. This is his usage. In my late 20s, I shifted to the sprawling metropolis of Mumbai. So the word means spread out. Alright, and yes, in a slightly irregular fashion. If you've seen the coastline of Mumbai, it's long and it's slightly tilted. Okay, now what does the word metropolis mean? Metropolis means a very large and busy city like Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai. These are all metropolitan cities, or you can call it for short as metropolis. Now let's talk about the example sentences. The museum's sprawling collection included artifacts from every continent. Now another word, what is artifact? So I will keep giving you the meanings of these different words that I'm using in the explanation of the word. Okay, so that there's a little extra that you gain from this video. Artifacts is nothing but historically important objects that are made by people. Okay, so you see all those very 2000 old pot, spoon, all that stuff, those are artifacts that you see in a museum. Next sentence is, their new office space was sprawling with enough room to accommodate hundreds of employees comfortably. Next word on the list is toil. So this is his usage. We relied on systems created through the toil and sacrifice of generations before to protect us. Meaning of the word toil is extreme hard work. Now what he wants to emphasize on is the sheer amount of hard work and sacrifices that our previous generations have done to create the systems that we follow now for our comfort and betterment. Okay, get it? Okay, moving on to the sentences. After years of toil in the fields, they finally saved enough to buy their own farm. His success was the result of his mother's toil over these years. Inexplicable. It's like a tongue twister. So his usage first. The land I come from is the source of inexplicable but very simple spirituality. Now if you closely notice, there is a contrast here that we're going to be talking about. Let's first talk about the meaning of the word inexplicable. Inexplicable is an adjective that means incapable of being explained or interpreted or accounted for. Now what he wants to talk about here is that how India, the land where he comes from is such a source of unexplainable spirituality, which is also very simple. Now, what you need to notice here is that most times something that is inexplicable, something that is unexplainable, is also extremely complex, and that is why it is unexplainable or difficult to explain. But he uses it in the shape of a contrast, that it is inexplicable spirituality, yet it is simple. That is what he's trying to say. So in a way, it is two praises in one sentence towards spirituality of a country. Now let's talk about example sentences. There was an inexplicable joy in the air that night, as if something magical was about to happen. His decision to suddenly quit a successful career was inexplicable to everyone who knew him. Next word, akin, his usage. My country has taught me the capacity for a human being to love is akin to godliness. Meaning of the word akin is of similar nature or character, or there is an archaic meaning also to it. Archaic meaning is the older meaning, related by blood. Now let's talk about the reference. He says that his country has taught him that the capacity of human beings to love is similar to being devoutly religious. Devoutly, what a beautiful word. Devoutly here means in a totally committed and sincere way. So if you are capable to love, that means you're equally devoutly religious. So he's saying that love is in a way equal to religion. So if you love, you're actually worshipping. Now let's talk about example sentences. Her writing style is akin to Virginia Woolf's, full of stream of consciousness and rich imagery. The excitement at the music festival was akin to the euphoria of a major sports victory. So the way a major sports victory is celebrated, it was similar to that. That is what is meant here. However, you must remember that this word, though it is archaic and it's beautiful, but again, it's no more, it's slightly obsolete, and you probably would not find it in this particular manner in the recent text. Dog and fox are closely akin. They are closely related to each other by blood. Okay, that is what the meaning here is. Okay, moving on to the next one, which is catapulted. Catapulted. Have you seen a catapult? Okay, so his usage is, I experienced the miracle of human innovation and cooperation and my own creativity when supported by the resourcefulness of this collective endeavor catapulted me into superstardom. Now, the meaning of this word is something to launch. It has been derived from catapult, which is this. I'm sure you must have seen it somewhere, either on internet or maybe in person. Now, his reference here is, he says that various factors like human innovation and cooperation, his own creativity, all put together, combined and launched him into superstardom. And we all know he's a superstar. It's his way of saying that so many factors were responsible for his success. Now let's talk about example sentences. The unexpected victory catapulted her to the top of the rankings in the tennis world. His innovative invention catapulted the company to the forefront of the tech industry. Next is callously. This is his usage now. You may filthy up the oceans callously and cut down all the forest. ... Give guns in the hands of little children to kill each other with, or you can use it to make more food to fill their stomachs with. Meaning here is something that in a way is insensitive, cruel, or without sympathy or feeling for other people. His reference here is that he says in his speech that all of us can channel our energy in a positive or a negative way. You have the option to heartlessly make the oceans dirty or cut down the trees, misguide children into killing each other with guns for hatred, or you could use it for betterment of the world. So we've got that energy, we have to make a choice. That is what he's trying to say here. All right, so here are two example sentences. The politician callously ignored the plight of the homeless, focusing instead on more popular issues. She callously broke the news without any regard for his feelings. Next word on the list is pertinent. His usage. I asked the most central and pertinent question to humanity and me. Do I need to fix my face? Meaning, relevant or applicable to a particular matter. That is what pertinent means. So instead of saying, oh, this is relevant to me, you could say, oh, this is pertinent to me. Oh, relevant information. Oh, pertinent information. Get it? Okay, so here's his reference. So Shah Rukh Khan here is humorously saying that before coming to the event, he looked at his face and asked himself this relevant and central question that if he needs to fix his face. He was obviously kidding, he's the best. Example sentences. She sorted through the files, separating the pertinent documents needed for the audit. The lawyer emphasized the pertinent laws that apply directly to the case at hand. Alright, moving on. Next one. Momentous. Momentous. SRK's usage. I just want to tell you, if there has been a momentous time for humanity to exist, it is now, because the present you is brave. It's a beautiful sentence. So meaning of this word momentous is of something that is of great importance or significance, especially in having a bearing on future events, when future events are depending on that thing, on this particular thing that you're talking about. Okay, future is in a way connected to it. His reference here is that right now in this era that we are living in is of great importance. He further says that the present you is brave. He goes on to say the present you is hopeful, which is not covered in the sentence, but I'm telling you this is what lies ahead. The present you is brave, the present you is hopeful. That further explains why now is momentous. Momentous because this moment is going to define our future. So momentous is anything that is extremely important and has some connection to our future. Our future will depend on it. Okay, all right, example sentences. The discovery of the new planet was a momentous event in the field of astronomy. The Supreme Court's decision was momentous, shaping the legal landscape for decades to come. Next word on the list is peddle. I'm sure you have used it, you've seen it. Peddle means to sell. Okay, his usage is I sell dreams and I peddle love to millions of people back home in India who assume that I'm the best lover in the world. Do we? Yes, we do. Okay, so this is the meaning of this word peddle. To sell things, especially by taking them to different places. If you peddle stories or information, you spread them by telling different people. Peddling is also used in reference to drugs. He's a drug peddler. You must have heard of this, right? Now, what he means by peddling here is he wants to demonstrate how in India he sells dreams and love to millions of people by telling stories in the form of movies that he makes. Example sentences. He tried to peddle his latest conspiracy theory to anyone who would listen. The author peddled her books at local events, hoping to attract new readers. Next one, grappling, his usage. I truly believe that humanity is a lot like me. It's an aging movie star grappling with all the newness around itself, wondering whether it got it right in the first place and still trying to find a way to keep on shining regardless. Poetically crafted, no? Okay, the meaning of this word grappling is to fight, especially in order to win something. Okay, it's a very common usage word. You can use it tomorrow onwards, today onwards. So this is his reference. Shah Rukh Khan wants to demonstrate that how humanity is just like him, fighting and dealing with all the new things around and still finding a way to win and shine regardless. So in a way, all of us are grappling. We are fighting our present scenarios in order to come out victorious. This is what he means by using the word grappling here. Okay. Example sentences. She spent months grappling with the decision to change her career path. Scientists are grappling with the complexities of climate change, seeking solutions to mitigate its impact. Mitigate. Again, a new word. Let's talk about it. Mitigate means to make something less serious, okay? To reduce the consequences of something. That is when you mitigate its impact, okay? Reduce the impact, reduce the seriousness of the impact. Next is crude. SRK's usage. I started driving back from the hospital to the house, and in the middle of her quiet crying, my mother looked at me and she said, "Son, when did you learn to drive?" And I said to my mom, "Just now, Mom." So from that night onwards, much akin to humanity in its adolescence, I learned the crude tools of survival. So meaning of this word is something that is simple and not skillfully made. Something that is extremely simply made can be used in a very simple fashion. Okay. By the way, crude also means vulgar, like a crude joke. So be a little careful using this one. Okay, his reference here is he's telling a story that happened when he was driving his mom back home after his father's demise. He didn't know how to drive, but from that night onwards, he learned all the basic and essential tools and skills that are needed for survival. Okay, he learned driving that very night. That he wants to say here. That is what he wants to say here. Quite touching. Example sentences. The map was a crude drawing, but it was enough to guide them through the forest. His crude remarks at the meeting offended several colleagues. Next one. Citadels. SRK's usage. You may land on Mars and build armed citadels, or you may look for life forms and species to learn from and respect. Meaning, a fortress, typically one on high ground above a city. He's continuing talking about channeling your energy in a positive or negative manner. Shah Rukh says that we have the option to land on Mars and build fortresses with weapons, or spend time looking for other life forms, meaning something more productive, respect the other species and learn from them. He wants to say that we always have an option to love, so spread love. Now let's talk about example sentences. Inside the citadel, the narrow streets and old stone houses spoke of a bygone era. The ancient citadel stood atop the hill, its walls weathered by centuries of battles and storms. Now another new word, weathered. Weathered means to come safely through a difficult time or experience. So if something has weathered, that means it has survived a lot, but it has survived, it is still there. Okay, next is mind numbing. And again, B is silent here. Mind numbing. This is his usage. I'm 51 years old, like I told you, and mind numbing acronyms notwithstanding, ... So, meaning of the word is so extreme or intense as to prevent normal thought. Okay, something that is extremely intense so that you cannot think normally. Okay, mind numbing. Your mind has frozen, it's numb. Okay, so this is his reference. Here he talks about the latest acronyms and short forms that the current generation is using, the Gen Z, that has made his mind go numb. Numb means sun pad jana, like you say in Hindi. Yaar, mere kaan sun pad gaye hain. Okay, you might face it with your legs if you sit for a long time. Okay, here are your example sentences. The lecture was so mind-numbing that several students struggled to stay awake. She scrolled through the mind-numbing array of documents, struggling to maintain focus. Again, new word, array. Array means a large collection of things. So if I have a lot of books here in front of me, this is array of books. Next word, tortuous. Tortuous, amazing word, beautiful. Okay, let's look at his usage first. The people of this ancient land embraced me in their limitless love, and I've learned from these people that neither power nor poverty can make your life more magical or less tortuous. Meaning of the word, full of twists and turns, or in a way, complicated. If something is complicated, it is tortuous. Okay, now let's talk about his reference. SRK says in this line that he has learned from his people that your life will always be full of twists and turns, and it doesn't really depend on how much power or wealth you have. Okay, so your life is more or less similar to other people, no matter how much power or how much wealth or whatever you've got, whatever accomplishments you have. Okay, now let's talk about example sentences. His explanation was so tortuous that it left everyone more confused than when they had started. The novel's plot was tortuous, filled with unexpected twists that kept the readers guessing. Okay, next one, tempered. Tempered. SRK's usage. My country has taught me the capacity for a human being to love is akin to godliness. It shines forth in a world which civilization, I think, already has tampered too much with. Let's talk about the meanings. So it has a couple of meanings. First, to touch or make changes to something that you should not, usually without enough knowledge of how it works or when you are trying to damage it. Okay, when your intent is not good and you're trying to, fiddle with a few, you're trying to touch a few things in order to, with an intention to damage those things. That is tampering those things. Okay, another meaning is interfere with something in order to cause damage. So more or less similar. Okay, now this is his reference. SRK says that our civilization has already been tampered with, which means that it has been interfered with, or it has been altered in a way that is not positive, it's negative. So our civilization has gone through all of that. Okay, we have evolved in a way like that. Now let's talk about example sentences. The police suspected that the lock had been tampered with due to visible marks around the keyhole. She noticed that the files on her computer had been tampered with when she found documents moved and altered. Now again, a good word, alter. Alter means to change. So if I alter the light, that means I'm changing the light. Okay, I'm making changes to it. I'm altering the settings. Okay, next word on the list is filthy. First, his usage. You may filthy up the oceans callously and cut down all the forests. You can destroy the ecology or turn to them with love and regenerate life from the waters and trees. Meaning is simple, disgustingly dirty. When something is extremely dirty, it is filthy. I'm sure you must have heard of this word. Filthy is also used with reference to extreme riches. He's filthy rich. Filthy, extreme amount of money. Okay? Alright. Now let's talk about the reference. Continuing the line about positive and negative channeling of energy, here SRK says that you may filthy up the oceans, which means to make the oceans extremely dirty, or there's a choice to give them love, to keep them clean, to use it for good things rather than making them dirty. Okay, now let's talk about example sentences. The restaurant was shut down after inspectors found the kitchen to be in a filthy condition. After the long hike, their clothes were filthy and in desperate need of washing. Okay, next word on the list is endeavor. Endeavor, beautiful word. SRK's usage. I experienced the miracle of human innovation and cooperation and my own creativity when supported by the resourcefulness of this collective endeavor catapulted me into superstardom. We did cover this sentence earlier, if you remember. Okay, so here's the meaning. An attempt to achieve a goal. That is what endeavor is, okay? I'm making endeavors towards achieving it, okay? Now, this is his reference. He says that various factors like human innovation, cooperation, his own creativity in a combined attempt with help from resourcefulness. So all of this put together, everything coming together, endeavor to make him what he is now, which is he's a superstar. We all know that. Okay, so now we come to the example sentences. The research endeavor took years to complete, but it resulted in significant advances in medical technology. Okay, next one. She put a great deal of effort into her artistic endeavors, hoping to someday have her work displayed in a gallery. Okay, next one. Peered. Peered. It's a very nice word. I started tweeting like a canary in a bird cage and assuming that, people who peered into my world would admire it for the miracle I believed it to be. The word peered means to look closely or carefully at somebody or something. For example, because you cannot see very well. So when something is not very clear and you're trying to make focus and understand what it is, you're peering at it. You peered at it. Okay, his reference is, he says that in his late 40s, he started to tweet a lot on Twitter, which is now X. And he assumed that people who looked at him would admire that. So here, in this case, canary is a bird. So he's just making a small connection like birds tweet, right? So that is why he's saying that I started to tweet like a canary. Canary is a bird. Okay, and it has a beautiful voice. Just look it up on Google. It's beautiful. Okay, so it's just a very sweet metaphor, kind of a metaphor. Okay, muhavra, sort of. She peered through the foggy window, trying to make out the figures moving in the distance. She peered into the microscope, amazed at the complexity of the tiny cells she was studying. Okay, next word is comrade. Now his usage. I thought celiac was a vegetable And vegan, of course, was Mr. Spock's lost comrade in Star Trek. Now, this is the meaning of the word comrade. A person who fights on the same side as you in a war. So, in a way, your friend. Okay. Reference by Shah Rukh Khan in this sentence was, he was kind of joking that he thought celiac was a vegetable. Probably confusing between celiac and celery. I'm not sure. So here Shah Rukh Khan is playfully admitting he didn't know the real meanings of these words, while also making an observation on how the terms might sound like something other than what they are. There are all these new meanings getting attached to old words like slay. Slay means something different, but now it is used in a positive way. Slaying is killing somebody, okay? Slaying them with a sword. But now slay is used for somebody who is doing well or has achieved great success. Oh, she's slaying, okay, like that. Or for that instance, there's one more word, cap. There are many others, I'm just taking two examples. Cap, which means lie or false. When someone says no cap, that means, oh, there's no lie in this. This is truth, okay? No cap. New meanings to older words. That is what he is highlighting here. Okay, next is our example sentences for this word. He slapped his comrade on the back, laughing heartily after a successful mission. During the tough times, she learned to rely heavily on her comrades for support and guidance. So that was all in the video. I'm sure you enjoyed it. I enjoyed shooting this one for you. So just drop in one comment and let me know which was that word that you truly enjoyed listening to and you're going to be using next. Your favorite one on the list. Just one word, okay? I'll see you in the next video. Please take care of yourself, take care of your health, your parents. I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.